we learn from you just by seeing you be such an amazing leader.
You led with your energy.
You really lead with your energy and like just
and your values and your morals.
Yeah, truly. We like just being around you is like a master class.
We love you.
We've learned so much, truly.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Welcome
Hey,
to the Variety Studio. So first, I just want to talk about the experience that you all just had in Hall H, because I was moved sitting there watching you be there.
Yeah.
So, Kerrice, you especially, I was just so touched by how emotional you got. Can you just what was that like for you? Can you just sort of describe how it was to watch that trailer play as you were standing there?
Kerrice almost made me cry.
Start crying again.
I was tearing up, yeah.
It was crazy because we hadn't seen any of that before. And so to see it like that and see everyone's like hard work really, like everyone ate down. Like everyone looked so good. And I'm just so proud of everyone. It was just insane. And to experience that with other people too, it just felt like a very vulnerable moment. And so the tears were ripped from me, unfortunately.
Also, we've been working so hard for so long and we haven't really seen anything. So for a minute, it just felt like we were doing it in a vacuum. Mm-hmm. So to finally see it like, oh my gosh, this is what all those long nights were for, it just hits in a very different way.
Yeah.
And also to give respect to our crew and everyone behind the scenes, like seeing it all come together, knowing how many people put in work to make that happen.
Hundreds of people.
I think that's a big part of what was making me emotional.
Everyone ate.
The amount of talent on the show, from behind the camera to in front of the camera,
Yeah.
is just mind blowing.
Holly, was this your first Hall H experience?
Was this my first
Hall
Star
H-
Trek?
Yeah, first Hall H experience, like at Comic Con.
On the stage.
On Comic Con?
Yeah.
No, it's not my first. I was here also for The Incredibles.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No big deal.
No big deal, whatever.
Yeah.
Hello.
I think I've heard of that.
I think I've heard that.
I've heard of it.
I heard it was pretty good.
So I thought you did a really lovely description of your character being both a captain and a chancellor. Could you just expand a little bit on the sort of the two roles that your character is playing and why that was so attractive to you?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, one character really predominantly should be an exceptional listener, and the other one really should be an exceptionally decisive person. And so those two things can operate very, very individually and separate. It's like they can be segregated. And in this character, I think the integration of those two things is imperative for the character to live, and for me to continue to have the really private relationships that I have with each of the cadets.
Yeah.
But that was a fun ride for me to take.
What was the captain's chair experience like for you to sit in it for the first time?
Well, I gotta, by far and away, my favorite set is the bridge, because it offers an endless potpourri of things to do. But when Alex and I looked at the set and he showed me the chair, of course, it's daunting, but it's also filled with possibility. And it's beautiful. And the bridge, all the sets are incredible, but the bridge is particularly beautiful to me. I felt like it was my most favorite set that I've ever been on.
Wow.
And the chair
I'm sorry, what?
The chair has a sacredness to it, and a playfulness to it, and a daunting aspect, a command central. It's many things, and I felt I was aware of a number of them when I would sit.
When I visited the sort of Star Trek world last year, and Alex very kindly gave me a sort of sense of what was to come on your show. So I have an appreciation for how just impressive the campus set is.
Yeah.
Could you? But for people who don't know, could you sort of describe that and what it's been like to work on something that is so sort of 360 all encompassing?
We literally have like the whole school on the stages. We've got a common area, cafeteria, bleachers. We've got a practical bi-level set. We've got dorm rooms, hallways, classrooms, labs. I mean, we're literally at Starfleet Academy.
And because of that, we didn't really have to act. Yeah.
The set does so much work for you.
Yeah.
And you just have to put yourself there and give an honest reaction to what you're seeing, what you're experiencing.
Super immersive.
It makes you excited to do the work too. Because you have so much room to play.
Right.
So many things to utilize.
It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet.
I'm in a scene in the pilot that I won't spoil with one of these wonderful cadets. When I saw that set, all I wanted to do was to cover as much of it as I could in one shot. And so there was a lot of movement, and it was thrilling. It was thrilling to go in the ins and outs of that beautiful space and get as far as we could without forgetting a line.
Yeah.
Robert, how was this first approach? Were you first approached with this in reprising your role from Star Trek Voyager?
I had a wonderful Zoom talk with Alex and Noga. Noga opened the talk by saying thank you for helping to raise me, which was really sweet and touching. And then they told me the idea. My concern, like any other actor's concern, would be, you're going back to the well with this character. Is that a good idea? How do you intend to use him? But also, will I fit in tonally with whatever your vision for your new show is? That's what I was most concerned about. Back in Voyager, we never used a bad word. We spoke this sort of weird kind of mid-Atlantic speech in space, which I call mid-galactic. And on this show, the language is totally different because it's hipper and it's, it's grown out of.
Come on, hipper.
Is hip too stupid a word?
No.
You're doing amazing.
Okay.
You're saying that.
Okay. So things come out of my mouth that I wouldn't have recognized 30 years ago. But I think it's the Doctor just trying to be relevant and trying to join the cadets in their own world. Here, listen to me because I can speak your vernacular too. So it's that part has been a total trip.
One thing that really jumped out to me in sort of the presentation of the characters on the show is that there's a lot of characters with mixed species backgrounds, which is something that was sort of introduced on Discovery, but you're really diving into with this. Noga, Alex, could you talk about why that was important for you to have on this show?
Go for it, Noga.
I think it reflects the world we live in now. I think it reflects this generation, which is diverse, people from many different backgrounds, people who are carrying many different traditions on their shoulders. And I think it was also an opportunity to ask really interesting questions like, what would a person be like if, I'm going to use Gina as an example, if you had a half Jem'Hadar, half Klingon female, like just beginning to build the energy and the way that person speaks and the way that they view the world and why did they join Starfleet and how did they even get to Starfleet. It opens up so many story possibilities, but at the same time I'll also say, there's really cool examples of species that we've known forever, like the Klingons, like the role that Karim plays, where you think you know what a Klingon is, but when you meet his character, you realize, oh, he's different than a lot of Klingons that we've met before. So I think that it was really about just presenting a surprising array of new characters to the canon.
That's a great segue into me asking for the cadets, since these are new characters we haven't met. Karim, I'll start with you. Tell us a little about your character and why perhaps he's a different kind of Klingon than we've seen before.
Yeah, for sure. So Jaden is, he's not like the other girls at all. Klingons are very, enthusiastic about battle and war and honor and picking up their sword and just diving in there. But Jaden doesn't want to do any of that. He's not interested in it. He wants to be a doctor. He wants to be a healer, which is so different from Klingons that we've seen. And yeah, that's why he's come to the school. He wants to learn how to do it best. And that results in, people maybe pegging him and calling him weak or, maybe not a real Klingon or whatever. But he's really at the school to kind of shed all of that and find his real strength. Yeah.
Wow, well said.
Lovely.
Bella, you also are, you talked at the panel about you and Karim were in the makeup trailer together getting prosthetics. Tell us a little about, you're playing a brand new species. What can you say about your character and the species she's coming from?
Well, I play Genesis, and she's a new species called Darsha, and she's the daughter of a Starfleet admiral. So she's got a lot of pressure from her relationship with her dad and a lot of goals that she feels like she needs to meet to either please her father or just fulfill something within herself. And she just fits so naturally into a leadership role because that's all she knows. That's all she's been raised with. And she'll always just fight for what's right and stand up for the little guy in the room. And she cares so deeply about everyone around her. And kind of all of these pressures that she puts on herself end up being her downfall. She tries to see how much she can carry until she breaks. And we kind of see that there's humanity in the fact that not everyone can be perfect because there's no such thing as perfect.
And what can you say about being Darsha? What does that mean?
Honestly, we don't really know everything yet. That's more of an Alex and Noga question because we don't have any super confirmed details, right?
Well, so the Darsha, okay, what I can tell you about the Darsha is when we designed the alien look for Genesis, the instruction we gave to our brilliant people was we wanted an alien who looked like she just woke up at Burning Man.
Accomplished.
And but she's just sleek and fabulous. And they came back with one of my favorite character designs I've ever seen on Star
I love
Trek.
my look.
I
love
love
it.
your look. Yeah. So she's
Really
just,
superb.
what we know about the Darsha is that at the very least we know that they look fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're,
look at the material. Look at the material.
they're a fabulous, fabulous
She had no
species.
choice. Darsha had no choice.
George, your character also comes from, I understand, from some sort of privilege. What can you tell us about your character?
So Darren Ramey, he's a Kionian, so he's the first of his species in the Star Trek universe, not just at the Academy, but in the whole canon, which is such a blessing to be able to do that. He comes from privilege. You can't really talk about the Kionians in general, but you can talk about his family and his upbringing. And there's an expectation on his shoulders to perform and to be the best in everything that he does. And that's a pressure that he feels so heavily on his shoulders. And because it's a pressure that's been put onto him, he's not necessarily driven by success, but he's actually in fear of failure because that's his whole identity. And that's a really incredible thing to play with in an academy, in a place where everything around you is tested, your weaknesses are put to the test.
Kerrice, there's a lot of firsts in this show. You're the first hologram to be, but can you talk a little bit more about this? Because you threw 3 different descriptors of you was a hologram, and then there was what was the name of this?
Oh, Caskian.
Gaskin?
A planet called Cask.
Cask, okay.
Yes.
So what can you tell us about your character?
Sam doesn't come from a people, she's just an individual. And so without having that connection, although that is kind of what she is supposed to be doing as an individual and you're becoming a part of a group, that's also just something that she really craves. That's her purpose, but it's also her craving. And I think that Sam is, with that being said, such an individual. She is just striving to want to be as real as possible, whatever real means to whoever's watching it and whatever real means to Sam. She just wants to be real. And so Sam is just a beating heart, no cholesterol, healthy, you know what I'm saying, like that. But like she is just she's alive. And that's what she wants to be so bad. So she's striving towards the light, which is life, connection, love, positivity. Like she just wants to feel. And
I love that.
it's really fun to get to play someone like that with no inhibitions, with no like baggage. Like she wants X, she wants Y, she wants Z, she wants a different language, you know what I'm saying? Like she just wants. So it's really fun to play someone so
She's like a sponge.
literally.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to describe her besides she is.
Watching Sam experience things for the
Alright.
first time is one of the most beautiful things.
Yeah.
And then Sandro, at the panel today, you said that your character is really our conduit into Starfleet Academy, and is bringing some baggage with him. How would you sort of elaborate on that?
How much can I elaborate on the baggage?
You're an orphan.
Yeah, I am an orphan. Okay, so I'm an orphan, and I'm looking for the one person in my life who matters to me and has always mattered to me, that I've been separated from.
You can say who that is.
Okay, my mother. Can I say who it's played by?
Yeah.
Okay. It's played by Tatiana. Sorry, Tatiana. Anisha. I'm confusing the two names. Tatiana.
Tatiana Maslany?
Yes.
The one and only.
the
The
very
one
best.
and only.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Her.
that relationship, I think, is the core to Caleb, wanting to basically recover something that was stolen from him. And so he has this anger, this baggage, as you said, against Starfleet for various reasons. I'm so scared.
You can stop there.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was great.
Great.
It's like a red.
I want to go back to Holly. You are obviously surrounded by a lot of people for whom this is one of, if not their very first acting job. And I'm talking to an Oscar winner now. And
Come on now.
Period.
Like,
and so how, you're obviously playing a person of authority and of leadership in the show. I'm imagining that might have translated off the set too. What has that part of that been like for you?
I've been around long enough to understand that people work a billion different ways. And there's, in any ways that I can think of or that I've seen, that I've witnessed how people work and how they are successful or how they do a scene that shocks me or that is so alive. It's different from what I've ever seen or what I've ever known or what I've ever done. Mm-hmm. And so that's a humbling thing in a way, my career has humbled me in that regard. So in no way, I just don't come with advice. I watch, I see how people do stuff, and I have, things that are sacred to me. And these guys know what they are, because if there's a trespass, then I say it, but not to them. Generally there's trespasses in other ways. So I say, no, that's not right. But I don't say that to other actors. I just don't, because actors need their head. They need their room. And they need their eccentricities. They need they need their fuel. And how you get fuel is like mysterious. So I don't want to intrude. I don't want to trespass on that. So, and they know, I think all these guys know that I respect what they do and who they are. And then I also respect what I do and who I am. And it's kind of as simple and as complex as that.
Wait, but can I add? So like, I I've never told you this, so I'm kind of embarrassed to say this. But Holly, I was so nervous to meet you at first. I was like, oh my God, this woman has a golden statue at home. Like, I hope she likes me. I hope I don't do anything weird or like fall on my face. She immediately, within the first 2 weeks, like invited us all over her house, took us out to dinner, took us out to dinner again the next week, and then offset throughout the whole season. She would text us on the weekends like, hey guys, like let's do dinner. And she would always facilitate us being together on like offset so that it translated on camera. And so even though you might not be the one to be like, do this and do that, we learn from you just by seeing you be such an amazing leader.
You led with your energy.
You really lead with your energy and like just
And your values and your morals.
yeah, truly. We like just being around you is like a master class.
We love you.
We've
Like,
learned so
literally.
much, truly.
Literally.
Yeah.
No, the cool thing about any act is you learn so much from casts, but particularly casts that you feel close to. And I think we all really do feel tight and intimate with each other, and that's when you really learn stuff. You know, because you're open, you want to learn, you're leaning into another person or an entire group of people, and that's of course that's a privilege.
Yeah.
All right, that's a really lovely note to end on. Thank you guys all for coming in.
Thank you.
so much.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.